The quiet end we both knew was coming. I never thought it would end like that. Not with shouting or broken glass. Not with one of us slamming the door or hurling accusations across the room. I had pictured something dramatic if it ever came to this. Tears, maybe, or a desperate plea to stay. But not this. Not the stillness. Not the way Caleb simply nodded, as though he'd been waiting for me to say the words aloud. I can't live like this anymore. I hadn't even meant to say it. Not directly to him. It slipped out like breath, soft and trembling, as if I was confessing to the walls or to my own exhausted heart. But the words hung in the air between us, fragile and final, and something shifted. I braced for impact. I expected anger, maybe grief. Something. But Caleb just stood there, still and quiet, like the words didn't surprise him. Like they had been echoing inside him for months too. Only now they had taken shape in the open air. His eyes met mine, not sharp or wounded, but deeply, achingly tired. There was no rage in them. No pleading. Just a weary kind of recognition. And then he did something I didn't expect. He stepped forward. Not quickly. Not dramatically. Just close. He leaned in, close enough that I could feel the whisper of his breath on my cheek. Then gently he kissed my temple. Not with passion. Not with desperation. But with a quiet tenderness that said everything we hadn't. Thank you. Sorry. Understand. Goodbye. It was a farewell wrapped in a gesture so small it almost went unnoticed, except it landed like a stone in my chest. Then he turned, reached for his coat, the one he always left crumpled on the banister, and walked out. The front door clicked shut behind him. A final. Not a slam. And I just stood there. Frozen. I didn't chase him. I didn't scream or collapse. I didn't fall to the floor like people do in the movies. I just stood there, hollowed out, as if every word I had never said was pressing down on my ribs. Because the truth is, I had crossed a line the moment I finally said those words. It was like stepping off the edge of a cliff. But even then I had thought, hoped, there would be something waiting to catch me. Fight. A tearful confrontation. Some flash of emotion to prove that we weren't beyond saving. But there was nothing. Only the stillness. Only silence. Not the kind that invites peace, but the kind that makes your ears ring. The kind that says this wasn't a surprise to him. The kind that says this was a long time coming. I realized then that Caleb had been letting go long before this moment. Quietly. Patiently. Without words. The love that once lived between us had dwindled into routine. We had become two people coexisting under the same roof. Raising kids, paying bills, eating dinner in silence. Parents, yes. But partners. Not for a long time. We hadn't fought in months. Not because we were happy, but because there was nothing left to fight for. That final look he gave me before he left, a small, sad nod, it told me everything. This is over. We both know it. Just took one of us to say it out loud. The kiss on my temple. I think I'll always remember that. Because it wasn't romantic. It wasn't hopeful. It was a gesture of closure. Of history. Of gratitude for what once was. And a release of what would never be again. When the sun rose the next morning, nothing looked different. But everything had changed. The kids woke early. Their laughter bright and sharp against the dull ache in my chest. I moved through the morning like a stranger in my own life. Pancake batter on my fingers, juice poured into tiny plastic cups, shoelaces tied on small feet. The motions were the same. But the rhythm was off. Everything felt like it belonged to someone else. His shoes weren't by the door. The jacket he always forgot to hang was gone. His side of the bed was untouched, cool and undisturbed. And the silence. It wasn't peaceful anymore. It wrapped around me like fog, thick and relentless. I kept expecting to hear his keys, a text, something. Anything, but there was nothing. Just the quiet. And in that quiet, his absence roared louder than any argument we'd ever had. I missed him. Not just the man, but the moments. The way he used to make me laugh when I was trying not to. The way his hand on mine could quiet every storm in my head. The way he used to see me, really see me, when I felt invisible to the rest of the world. But that was before the slow fade. Before the quiet drift. Before we both stopped trying. And now there was only the echo of what used to be. The stillness that comes not from peace, but from the end. He hadn't abandoned me. And I hadn't blindsided him. We had abandoned us. Slowly, quietly, together. And in the end, all it took was a whisper to make it real.